like felt that pressure, like when you would go out with people and like
completely, mostly in like the social settings, you know? So that was the thing for me. You feel it. It doesn't mean you have to like give into it, but it was a lot. It was a lot for me at 24, right? So
yes. And then you didn't feel that when you got to LA, in the sense that, I mean, I guess it's different pressure. Like, I mean, LA is like New York, like you need to be thin and look a certain way. And if you want to be in the business, like you felt it like that, you know,
exactly.
You did.
LA is a different kind. LA is more of like a visual pleasure than it is like, what is the label that you're wearing on the red carpet? Because you can literally make something that you have picked up from Zara or H&M with the right handbag and the right shoes, make it look way nicer than it really is, if that makes sense. The way you style it, like I'm very much about like high-low. But yeah, in OC, it was definitely a lot more about like, you would just feel, I mean, you feel the eyeballs on you when you walk into like a restaurant in LA, but it's a different kind versus when you walk into an event, they're looking at like, what is the handbag? What is the dress? Looking at your shoes. It's very like, okay, we are in OC.
I could see all of that.
Yeah.
I could see all of that. And New York is kind of somewhere in the middle. It's like money and it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, but Heather, but I mean, I would like to be adopted by Heather as well. So if Heather's listening to this when she's done adopting you, she could adopt me. So as I watch,
both.
Listen, so as I watch, I mean, I'm like, I don't know if I'm objective. Like, I think I'm just so in awe of Heather. I'm like, I understand when people say why they don't like her. Like, I get it. But I think I'm just in awe of her, that like everything is so perfect. And I'm just like, I just want to be adopted by her and then I'll figure it out later on.
Totally. Same. Just
put me in one of those rooms in that house, right?
Yeah. I'll take the walk-in closet. It's fine.
But I do feel bad when Shannon cries. I do think I don't know. I think Shannon is just, you haven't really watched in the past, but like she just like gets in her own way. And I think really deep down, she probably means well.
Yeah.
I would agree.
That's what I get.
What do you think of so we have two newbies, Noella and Jennifer.
Yes.
What do you think of these two? What do you think of these two? And I have some things to say.
Yeah. So Jennifer, by the way, does anybody else think that Jennifer gives me Gretchen vibes a little bit? Like
looking like her?
Something
yeah,
like
I could see that.
I was like, what? I think it was like the hair. I don't even know what it is, but I was like, whoa, a little bit.
Are you just having PTSD from like Gretchen?
No. It was just more like, oh, okay, a little bit, yeah.
I mean, well, now that you say it, yeah, I could see that,
right?
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of that, but also, I was really like, kudos to her for being the breadwinner in the family. Not the biggest fan of her other half. Like, I feel like I want someone she's like amazing and like has her own thing going and runs the house and all that. Like, I kind of want someone who's really infatuated with her. And like, you see that in terms of like showing an interest in her. And like, I don't really get that from him. I just get that he's kind of just like there and kind of aloof and not really like.
And she's a doctor.
Yeah. So
if your fiance, Taryn, were on the show with you and never put on a shirt, how would you feel about this?
I mean, that would never happen. I would be like, go to the room, please put on some clothes. Like, it's not okay.
It's like, I understand, like, you may not wear a shirt all the time. It is Orange County, but like, you know what the Housewives is. You know that, like, you talk about glamming up. Like, I'm just asking you to throw on a shirt, man.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's a little weird, right? It's a little strange.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you looked like, you know, Mark Wahlberg back in like 1985, I understand it, but I don't understand this angle and where we're going with this.
Right. I think he just doesn't care. And that's honestly his personality always. I feel like whenever, you know, he's with her at dinner and I don't know, even just seeing him at the party this last episode with like Heather and meeting him, like he's just a little aloof for me. So,
and like that scene so it's weird, like Emily's husband Shane had a really bad edit like the first season or two, like it was really cringeworthy, like you almost couldn't watch it. And now it's like Shane is like a fan favorite, like people, like we have come around, like you know, and like part of it, I think it's like probably a mixture of both. Like, you know, Emily says like they've come far in their marriage and like it's probably a little bit in the editing, but he gives me like when he was saying at that party, like whenever she said like we tried and he didn't like me in the beginning and he's like, we're still trying or whatever. I'm like, this is so cringeworthy. Like you say that at home, but it's like not on TV and not in front of like everyone else. It's so it's cringeworthy.
Yeah. And that's why I just want somebody that I just think she deserves better than that. So
she deserves better than
like I wouldn't be having it.
I mean, she's not jumping out of the page at me like, oh my God, you're so interesting.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Noella? As I smile because I don't know where to begin.
I know. So, okay. So when I first started watching the show, like first 4 episodes, I was obsessed. Like absolutely beautiful, like could be on the cover of a magazine. I love that she's like just her fashion on point, like love, obsessed. As the show has progressed, I'm a little question mark now because, and granted, I do feel for her because she is going through a lot with the divorce. I can't even imagine like having been married for somebody for that long, finding out there's all this hidden stuff, like I would lose my mind. And especially to have to go through it and find out in the middle of a shoot where it all has to come out in front of America. So my heart does go like out to her. However, I am seeing the things that she is kind of like going up to Heather about, telling her that she like heard or saw and things that she's doing. I'm like, oh girl, no. Cause the thing is like, she can't tell Heather that she heard or saw that like Heather and her husband like slammed somebody up against a wall when it clearly didn't happen. Or she's like running her mouth about, you know, and telling her that she's like a fake, you know, bitch and things like that. Can we swear on this, by the way?
Yeah, you could say whatever you want. I have a horrible mouth, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect. I just, again, this is my personality where like, I'm a girl's girl. I don't, to my knowledge, don't have enemies. Like I get along with a lot of people. I don't cause trouble. If I have an opinion, you better know I'm going to tell you. And if I don't disagree, or if I don't agree with someone, you better believe like I'm going to say something. But for the most part, I don't cause trouble. And I just see that she's starting to cause trouble. So that is kind of, I'm just kind of like, oh, Noella, please get it together. But and I can't give you the because you're going through a divorce card, because you can still control the way you run your mouth, right? If you're in a social situation, it kind of has, I mean, I understand you can have a bad day and say things you don't mean, especially with alcohol. I get it. But also, I don't know if it's happening while she's drinking. Do you know what I mean? So that's my only thing, is I really hope that she can turn that around. And I do appreciate she did go up to Heather and apologize and owned it. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like a, oh, Noella, please don't leave me. Like I really love her and I'm rooting for her, but question.